Hey everyone, so it is a very hazy, misty, foggy day today. Today's Friday. I think it's March 4th, my brother's birthday. But anyhow, today I just wanted to quickly kind of go over some things. It recently came about. I think people might have to look into your indexed universal life insurance because goodness gracious, there are so many different factors nowadays with how indexes are, or index universal life and potentially index or fixed index annuities. There's so many different crediting methodologies that, looking at a historical average or historical, arithmetic average of the returns can be misleading, especially since if you were to look at how the stock market and the fixed index or index universal life or crediting index or whatever, however you want to call it, the crediting methodology, they're very different, completely uncorrelated due to the fact that any kind of index crediting product is considered a fixed product, so it doesn't experience the same type of P&L or profit and loss as your standard kind of stock market or equity market. So taking two really uncorrelated return assets that are correlated one-to-one on a, I guess you could call it, choppy time frame can be very confusing. So for those of you who are both selling or looking for index universal life or fixed index annuities, it's kind of I don't know if the best way to put it is a moot point to understand it, but you should look at it as more of a kind of completely separate beast. And that's going to be why there's so much hate with the industry with all of these products, because it's just there's no real other way to kind of talk about it. It's kind of like I like to, and the reason why this came up 2 minutes and 49 seconds into this little video is that I was thinking how my options portfolio correlates to my actual retirement portfolio that I don't touch. So my IRA that I trade options in versus my IRA that's just a static, index funds, set it and forget it mentality. And they're completely uncorrelated. Even though I trade equities or I trade options in the equity market, I mean, I don't in my Roth IRA, I don't trade any futures products. I don't trade any futures options. So I'm just using all equities, which is theoretically practically what my set it and forget it portfolio is. But they're completely non-correlated. And that's how I think the options or the index universal life and fixed index annuities kind of are related to your to the stock market, which, as you can tell by now, 4 minutes in, if your head isn't spinning and saying, Matt, what are you trying to get at? That's what I'm trying to get at. There is really a hard correlation. I'll give you an example. So, and the shorter time frame is going to make the most sense. So a lot of companies will have point-to-point monthly kind of a crediting methodology, which they will credit your account at the end of the year. So let's say in January to February, that month cycle, stock market goes up, say 5%. Okay, 5%. So they will credit your account, or they will build in a 5% credit. Let's say the next month it goes down a little bit and then up a lot. It's good. Maybe we hit another 2%, right? Tank 10%, but it finished just a little bit above its head. That's a 5 and a 2. So far your average crediting rate somewhere between 3.5, right? Just about. So with the average crediting rate with that low, do they add it all together, or do they take the average of the monthly point to point? Well, it's different depending on the company. And also, during this entire time, if the stock market finished up, say from January to all the way to the end of December, finished at, let's say it finished up 10%. Nice round number, 10. Will your interest crediting amount be 10? Or will it be some different number? It could be a very different number. And depending on your, I guess you could say, entry point, it could be very different or the same. And that has nothing to do really with the stock market return. So therefore, over a longer period of time, the choppiness of the returns makes a huge difference in the actual index crediting that it's done. Now, personally for me, I have not been able to run any tests or any numbers, which I love to do, on it, but I will, because it has become very intriguing to me how the different crediting timelines and crediting methodologies really change your IUL or fixed index annuity return. So much so that it no longer looks like the equity that you're tracking, which can be very misleading, especially since I like to use equity, or when I structure IULs, I rather enjoy saying it's like, you know, it's like you're holding the SPY, but in actuality, due to the, again, sequence of the returns and time frames that are used and participation rates and caps, it can look actually very different to a point where it no longer even correlate. The return doesn't correlate to the product that you are tracking. Now, again, almost 8 minutes into this, and you're like, well, where are we going? That's where we're going. We don't know. But am I saying that these products are bad? No. If you prescribe to the permanent life insurance for creating a tax-efficient retirement, if that's your kind of philosophy, due to whatever situation you're in, then IULs are not a bad choice. I mean, considering we only got really IULs in whole life, so, you know, that's kind of your two choices there. But when you choose an IUL, what product or what index should you actually be following? And what credit methodology provides the return that you want? Because now they're very different. It's going to cause me to do a lot of research. And my way of doing research is, unfortunately, not the way that the insurance marketing brochures like to publish, because I, for one, rather look at the data than nice line charts or line graphs. So numbers will tell the story, line graphs don't tell the story, especially if you're cherry picking data to make it look nice. Anyway, I will be sure to update everyone on my findings. It probably won't be for a couple months or so, as I need to compile lots of data, and compiling data is not my job. It's something I'm going to have to do during my free time, which I have very little of nowadays. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video.